Hello students, this is Ashmita Mahapatra going to teach you from the Contemporary India 1 Social Science Geography class 9, and today I am going to teach you the chapter Natural Vegetation and the Wildlife. Students, you must be knowing India is a vast country having a very rich natural vegetation and wildlife. You might have seen different types of vegetation such as shrubs, trees, plants, birds, animals in and around your own surrounding. So, in this chapter, we will discuss about the various flora and fauna of our country. Before going deep into the flora and fauna of our country, let us know India's position in the world when the natural vegetation and wildlife is concerned. Coming to the very first number, India is one of the 12 mega biodiversity countries in the world. Second point, with 47,000 plant species, India ranks 10th in the world and 4th position in Asia in plant diversity. The next one, with 15,000 flowering plants, India accounts 6% in the world's total number of flowering plants. Next, India has nearly 90,000 species of animals as well as fish in its fresh and marine water. Let us know about what is virgin vegetation. The virgin vegetation is that when the plant community that they grow naturally without human interference and left undisturbed for a long time. The vegetation, those are purely of Indian origin, they are called endemic or indigenous plant species. Whereas the vegetation, those come from outside of India, they are known as to be exotic plants. So, this is all about your virgin vegetation. Let us move into the flora and fauna. What do you mean by flora? So, also what do you mean by fauna? When we talk about the flora, flora are the plants of a particular region or a period is called flora, whereas the animals they are referred as to be the fauna. Now, let us discuss about the factors those are responsible for such a diversified flora and fauna in our country, that is India. The major factors those are responsible for having such a rich flora and fauna, number one, it is relief. When I tell relief, it includes its land and soil. The next one, it's very important factor, that is climate. When you talk about climate, it includes its temperature, precipitation, photoperiodic, that is called sunlight. Let us start with the relief features, that is the land and its soil. The type of land that influences the type of vegetation, such as the flat and level land, they are fit for agriculture. Whereas the undulating and the rough land, they have the grasslands and woodlands, etc., and they mostly shelter a rich variety of wildlife. Coming to the next part of your relief, that is the soil. How soil affects the vegetation of a particular place? How does the soil affect the plant? Let us take the example of alluvial soil. It helps for the growth of agriculture. Similarly, that sandy soil, it helps for the growth of cactus, thorny bushes, etc. In the same process, marshy and deltaic soil, it supports mangroves and deltaic vegetation. Coming to the next important factor, that is climate, which includes temperature, precipitation and photoperiod. Number one, that is temperature. It also plays a very important factor which affects the vegetation of a place. When there is a fall of temperature about the height of 915 meters, that affect the vegetation and its growth, which changes from tropical to subtropical, temperate and alpine vegetation. Next, it is the precipitation. As you all know, our country is been affected by southwest and northeast monsoon that results to a dense vegetation as compared to the areas of less rainfall. Similarly, if I ask you another question, why are the western slope of the Western Ghats, they are covered with thick forest than that of the eastern slopes? It is all because of the heavy rainfall. The third important factor, it is the photoperiod, that is none other than the sunshine. Due to the longer duration of the sunlight, the trees that they grow faster than the areas which get less sunshine. Many of you might have visited the Himalayan region or nearby this area. By visiting the places, you might have come across the slope of Himalaya. Some of the questions might have stroked your mind, like why the southern slope of Himalayan region they have covered with thick forest, whereas the northern slopes are having less forest. Can you answer the question? Right, the answer is the southern slopes get sunlight, ample sunlight, whereas the northern slope they get little sunlight or less sunlight. That is why the southern slopes have got thick forest than that of the northern slopes. Now, coming to the forest, students, you must be knowing the importance of forest. Why are forests important to us? Let us discuss about the forest that they play a major role in our life. Forests, they play a major role in our life. Like they modify our climate, they control the soil erosion, they regulate our stream flow, they support a variety of industries, they provide livelihood for many communities and also offer panoramic or scenic view for recreation. Besides that, they control wind force and temperature and they cause heavy rainfall. They also provide humus, which is very important for the soil fertility, and they also shelter huge number of wildlife. And our India's natural vegetation that has undergone many changes due to several factors such as the growing demand for cultivated land, development of industries and mining, urbanization and overgrazing of pastures. As because of this, the number of forest, the amount of forest resource are getting depleted very fast. So, to protect this forest, our country, our government has taken steps. Some of the steps such as Van Mahotsav, Chipko movement. Have you heard about Chipko movement, children? Chipko movement, a movement which was initiated by Sundarlal Bahuguna. And this movement particularly, the people they used to embrace the tree so that the other people will not cut down the trees. That is a movement was also taken by the government to protect our forests. Now, let us discuss about the real vegetation cover of India. The type of vegetation cover that we have in India, in real sense, we are now lagging behind in that kind of natural resource. It's all due to this has been replaced or degraded by some kind of human occupancy or human activities. And some areas where we have got the natural vegetation that remain intact, they are the Himalayas, the hilly region of the central India and one another place that is called the Marusthali region of our country. Coming to the next one, if the country goes for maintaining the ecological balance, every region or every country must have some portion of the land under forest cover. To maintain the ecological balance, the minimum amount of forest cover in a region should have been to be 33% of the total area. According to India's State of Forest Report 2011, at present the forest cover in India is only 21.05%. It is a threat to our country. So, to maintain the ecological balance, children remember a country or a region must have 33% of the forest cover. India is marked with number of natural vegetation. Let us discuss the major natural vegetation that are identified in our country, that is India. The number one, that is the tropical evergreen forest. Number two, tropical deciduous forest. Number three, tropical thorn forest and scrubs. Number four, montane forest. And the last one, number five, that is mangrove forest. Coming to the number one, tropical evergreen forest. Why this forest is called evergreen? Let us discuss more in detail about this forest, that is tropical evergreen forest. These forests are mostly found in the region having heavy rainfall, that is number one in Western Ghats, the island group of Lakshadweep, Andaman and Nicobar, upper part of Assam, Tamil Nadu and many other places. In these areas, due to the heavy rainfall that occurs more than 200 centimeter of annual rainfall with a very short dry season, they grow very fast. The trees reach here a great height, that is up to 60 meters or even above. Since the region is very warm and wet, throughout the year it has a luxuriant vegetation of all kinds, trees, shrubs, creepers, giving an all multi-layered structure. There is no definite time for trees to shed their leaves, so they are called evergreen forest, and because of that these forests appear green all through the year. Some of the important trees that become commercially very important, they are ebony, mahogany, rosewood, rubber and cinchona. Coming to the animal kingdom that are found in the tropical evergreen forest, they are elephant, monkey, lemur and deer. And also in this forest you will be finding one-horned rhinoceros, which are very important in the jungle of Assam, so also in West Bengal. Beside these animals, you could find out plenty of birds, bat, sloth, scorpions, snails and many other things in these jungles. Coming to the next important forest, that is tropical deciduous forest. These are the forests which are widespread forest in India. They are also called to be monsoon forest, and that they spread a region receiving rainfall between 200 centimeter and 70 centimeter. Trees of this forest, they shed the leaves for about 6 to 8 weeks in dry summer. On the basis of the availability of the water, these kind of forests are divided into two types. One is called the moist deciduous forest, other one is called dry deciduous forest. The moist deciduous forests that are found mostly in the area receiving rainfall between 200 and 100 centimeter. Mostly they are found in the eastern part of our country, northeastern states, along the foothill of Himalayas, Jharkhand, West Odisha and Chhattisgarh. And also in the place called eastern slope of Western Ghat, we will also find this kind of forest. And in this forest, mostly the most dominant trees that are found, they are teak, that is a very important tree. The other trees like bamboo, sal, shisham, sandalwood, kher, kusum, arjun, mulberry, they are also found in this forest, and these trees are commercially very important. Let us discuss about the dry deciduous forest, which is a part of the tropical deciduous forest. They are found the areas having rainfall between 100 centimeter and 70 centimeter. And these forests are mostly found in the rainier part of the peninsular plateau and the plains of Bihar and Uttar Pradesh. And in this forest, the most important trees that are found, they are teak, sal, peepal and neem. A large part of this region that has been cleared for cultivation, and some are also for grazing purposes. Now let us discuss about the animal kingdom in the tropical deciduous forest. In this forest, mostly the common animal, those are found here, they are lion, tiger, pig, deer and elephant. And besides that, you will find a huge variety of birds, lizards, snakes, tortoise, they are also found in the forest. Coming to the third category of forest, that is the thorn forest and the scrubs. These forests are found in the areas receiving less than 70 centimeter of annual rainfall. And in this area, the natural vegetation, they mostly consist of thorny trees, bushes, cactus and many other plants. And this type of vegetation that are mostly found in the northwestern part of our country, the places called to be Gujarat, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Uttar Pradesh, Haryana. In this forest, mostly you will find different varieties of plants. They are acacias, palm, euphorbias and cactus. In this region, trees are found scattered and there are roots that they penetrate deep into the soil in order to get moisture. The stems are very succulent in nature to conserve water. Leaves mostly are thick and small to minimize evaporation. And this forest, they give a way to the thorn forest and scrubs in arid region. Let us discuss about the animals' life in this forest. In this thorn forest and scrubs, the common animal those are found, they are rat, mice, rabbit, fox, wolf, tiger, lion, wild ass, horses and camels. Let us discuss about the mountain forest. What are mountain forests? What do you mean by the mountain forest? Mountain forests are also called the mountain forest. Forests, those are found in the mountainous region of our country, that is called India. In the mountain forest, the mountainous region where the temperature decreases with the increasing of altitude, that brings to the different variety of natural vegetation. There is a succession of natural vegetation, that belt, that in the same order as we see from the tropic to the tundra region, which means you will find different varieties of vegetation, that is the forest that starts from your tropical forest to the tundra region. That means it includes the tropical forest till the tundra region. Let us discuss first about the wet temperate forest. The wet temperate type of forest, they are found in the height between 1000 and 2000 meters, whereas the evergreen broadleaf trees such as oak, chestnut, they are predominant in this region. Let's move on to the next category of forest. Those are found in between 1500 and 3000 meters, where the temperate forests, they contain coniferous trees. Do you know, children, what are coniferous trees? The coniferous trees, they are conical in shape, so that they are known to be the coniferous trees. And the trees, they include pine, deodar, silver fir, spruce and cedar. They are mostly found in this region. The next category of forest that are found in the southern slope of the Himalayas, they are having high altitude in southern and northeastern India. At a higher elevation, the temperate grasslands, they are found in this region. At high altitude, generally more than at 3600 meters above the sea level, you will find out the temperate forest and grasslands, they merge to alpine vegetation. Here you will find the typical trees like silver fir, junipers, pine, birches, they are commonly found in this region. However, they get progressively stunted as they approach to the snow line. What do you mean by the snow line? The area where you will find the sheet of ice that they start, that line is called the snow line. And here you will find the shrubs ultimately turn or they merge into the alpine grasslands. And these grasslands are mostly used for grazing by the nomadic tribal people like the Gujars and the Bakarwals. Have you heard about these people, children? These Gujars or Bakarwals, they are mostly the most important occupation of these people to rear animals. After this, we will find out at a higher altitude, the mosses and lichens, they form a part of your tundra vegetation. Coming to the animal kingdom, those are found in the mountain forest. They are Kashmir stag, spotted deer, wild sheep, jackrabbit, Tibetan antelope, yak, snow leopard, squirrels, then you will get shaggy horn wild ibex, bear and rare red panda. And also we will find out sheep and goat with thick hair. Coming to the last type of forest under the natural vegetation, that is mangrove forest. These type of forests are found in the tidal region of our country. So it is called to be the tidal forest, as because they are influenced by the tides. In this region, dense mangroves are commonly found with roots of the plants that remain submerged under the water. These tidal forests or the mangrove forests are mostly found in the deltaic region of Ganga, the Mahanadi, the Krishna, the Kaveri and the Godavari. In the Ganga Brahmaputra delta, the very common tree, they are called to be the Sundari trees, they are found in abundance. These Sundari trees, they provide durable hard timber. Besides that, palm, coconut, kevra, agar, they are also grown in some part of this delta. Coming to the animal kingdom in the mangrove forest region, that is a very important animal that is found in this region is the Royal Bengal tiger, which is very famous animal in this forest. Besides this Royal Bengal tiger, the other animals those are found here, they were turtles, crocodiles, gharials, snakes, etc. So here we come to the end of different types of natural vegetation, that is the forest. Those are found in our country, that is in India. Now some of the questions must be coming to your mind. For example, what will happen if plants and animals they disappear from the earth's surface? Can the human being survive under such a situation? And in the same time, why is biodiversity necessary and why should it be protected or conserved? The answer to the question, yes, the plant and the animal, they play a major role in our life. Without plants, we cannot survive. The plants and the trees in the forest, not only they moderate the climate, they also bring rainfall, which is very essential for the survival of the human being. You might have heard about different type of medicinal plants. India is a country from the very ancient time. It is having a rich variety of herbs and spices. Among these medicinal plants, some 2000 plants have been described in Ayurveda and at least 500 are in regular use. According to the World Conservation Union's Red List, they have named 352 medicinal plants, of which 52 are critically threatened and 49 are endangered. Do you know the meaning of endangered? That means it is in the verge of extinction. In India, we have got variety of medicinal plants which have got very important use, such as number 1, Sarpagandha, which is used to treat blood pressure and it is also found only and only in India. Jamun, the juice from the ripe fruit, is used for prepare vinegar and in the same time it has digestive properties. The powder of this seed is used for controlling diabetes. Arjun, another important medicinal plant, its fresh juice of leaves is a cure for earache. It is also used to regulate blood pressure. Next important medicinal plant, that is babool. Its leaves are used as a cure for eye sores. Its gum is used as a tonic. Students, you might have heard about the neem tree, which is a very important medicinal plant. It has high antibiotic and antibacterial properties. Next important plant is the tulsi plant, which every Hindu people they used to worship at home. This tulsi plant, it is used to cure cough and cold. And another important medicinal plant, that is kachnar. It is used to cure asthma and ulcers. The buds and the roots, they are very good for digestive problem also. So students, that's all for today's class. Before we wind up, let's do some question and answers. Distinguish between tropical evergreen and deciduous forests, right? Okay, let me give you the answer. The tropical evergreen forests are found on the rainy parts of the Western Ghats and the island groups of Lakshadweep and the Andaman and Nicobar Island. The trees like ebony, mahogany and rosewood are most important trees of the evergreen forest. Trees of the evergreen forest do not shed their leaves at one time and or in the same time. So these forests they remain evergreen. Coming to the deciduous forest, the deciduous forests are found mostly in the eastern part of the country, northeastern states along the foothills of Himalayas, Jharkhand, West Orissa and Chhattisgarh, and in the eastern slope of Western Ghat. Teak is the most dominant species of the deciduous forest. Other trees found here are bamboos, sal, shisham, sandalwood and kher. The trees of the deciduous forest they shed their leaves for about 6 to 8 weeks in summer. Let us discuss another question. Name different varieties of vegetation found in India and describe the vegetation of high altitude. Right? The answer to the question, the following major type of vegetation may be identified in our country are tropical rainforest, tropical deciduous forest, tropical thorn forest and scrubs, montane forest and mangrove forests. The vegetation of high altitudes are montane forest. In mountainous areas, the decrease in temperature with increasing altitude leads to the corresponding change in natural vegetation. As such, there is a succession of natural vegetation belts in the same order as we see from the tropical to the tundra region. The wet temperate type of forests are found between a height of 1000 and 2000 meters. Evergreen broadleaf trees such as oaks, chestnuts, they are predominant. Between 1500 and 3000 meters, temperate forests containing coniferous trees like pine, deodar, silver fir, spruce and cedar are found. These forests cover mostly the southern slopes of the Himalayas and places having high altitude in southern and northeast India. At higher elevations, temperate grasslands are common. At high altitudes, generally more than 3600 meters above sea level, temperate forests and grasslands give way to the alpine vegetation. Silver fir, junipers, pines and birches are the common trees of these forests. However, they get progressively stunted as they approach the snow line. Ultimately, through shrubs and scrubs, they merge into the alpine grasslands. These are used extensively for grazing by nomadic tribes like the Gujars and Bakarwals. At higher altitudes, mosses and lichens form part of the tundra vegetation. The common animals that are found in these regions are Kashmir stag, spotted deer, wild sheep, jackrabbit, Tibetan antelope, yak, snow leopard, squirrels, shaggy horn with ibex, bear and rare red panda, sheep and goats with thick hair. So students, that's all for today's class. So we'll meet again in the next session where we'll be learning more about the natural vegetation and the wildlife of India. So till then, stay safe, be happy and take care of yourself. Thank you.